Hello, my dear disciple. It is I, back again, and you probably have heard the name Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Not only is it incredibly fun to say it wrong and get corrected by some nerd in the comment section, he was also one of the greatest musicians of all time. His music, like the memes about him, is timeless and serves to gratify many to this very day. A name a lot less of you are bound to be familiar with is Antonio Salieri. I'm making this video and even I had to Google his full name. These two were contemporary musicians and their talents were considered comparable. So why have you heard of Mozart but not Salieri? The issue plaguing Salieri was that he was obsessed with Mozart. And while he was focused on Mozart, Mozart was focused on the music. Life is unfair. People are not equal. If you believe we're all equal, you're a dumb fuck. And I would love to talk to you about it. These inequalities come in all sorts of wonderful flavors. You can be poor or rich, you can be short or tall, and you can be smart or a dumb fuck. You can be talented or you can be a Twitch streamer. It's normal to feel some kind of way about the hand you've been dealt in life, and you may not like it, but this is where the trick comes in. You don't have to like it, but you can't let it infect you. And it will try its hardest to infect you with jealousy, resentment, desperation, and hatred, and you can give in to those. It's a way of living, but it will suck the potential of being anything more than a bacterium amongst termites on the pages of history, and more importantly, not being a poorly coded NPC right out of you. Now that I'm done preaching, I can be honest with you. It makes me miserable. I don't have much reason to be jealous, but I have been dodging the resentment tax of life, and now it has come to collect. Hatred feels good. If nothing else, it provides you with a purpose in this unbearable abyss you're stuck in. It's a form of life, after all. It's easy to give in, and I have wanted to for some time, but I don't, because if I did, then I would no longer be me. I would let it form me, and that terrifies me more than being lifeless. No matter how I resist, however, knock, 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 thump, thump, thump. It is at the door, and it is hungry. I have eluded it for so long, and it is indignant at being rejected, but much like your average hoe, that only makes it want me more. But if I were to ever give in to it, it would keep me from doing what I need to do. I need to focus on the music. Now imagine all this, but on a time loop, and your best friend for life dies every time you respawn like it's a COD lobby, and you have the rough picture of what Okabe Rintaro has to go through in Steins Gate. You thought I wasn't gonna shoehorn some anime into this video, you fucking imbecile? I'll give you a second to feel stupid. Steins Gate is a story about friendship, harness under no wait, that's Naruto. Let me run this back. It is a story about a lonely guy who is also very delusional. All you motherfuckers should find this very relatable. The story is focused on what I consider to be one of the finest iterations of time travel in the history of fiction, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. No, what I care about is the sheer amount of fucking commitment Okabe Rintaro has to being a complete fucking moron. Grandiose lecturing? Check. Ridiculous lab coat? Check. Japanese English? Check. And of course,
Uh, hey, master. I am math scientist. It's so cool. Son of a bitch. はい。何ですか日本語で OK か。ちょっと
watching Okabe be a retard is very entertaining and all, but where the show gets interesting is where the facade gets tested against some of the harshest realities of life. And it's hard not to be a resentful cynic is where it counts to be. Really quickly, spoiler warning for Steins Gate 1 and 2. You should watch the show before you continue further. So at this point in the show, Okabe has been fucking with some really dangerous people, so the ops pull up at his doorstep and there's a tussle, during which his childhood best friend, Mayushi, gets shot. He gets to go back in time to save her, but the same thing happens again, just in a slightly different way. So he goes back again, and again, and again, until he's seen his childhood best friend die over and over and over again. Things would change. He would take her someplace else, but at that exact same time, something would happen and he would have to see her die again. Imagine how hard it has to be tormented by the thing you dread the most, not once, but as many times as you try to prevent it from happening, which is infinite. Imagine Room 101 from 1984, but an infinite loop. How hard it must fuck with a person's resistance and how broken down that person has to be by the end of it all. That's the kind of toll on one's soul I'm talking about when you resist the temptation of indulging in resentment. Okabe is Hyoen not because he's a dumb fuck, albeit that's certainly part of it. He's Hyoen because it makes someone special to him smile, and that's worth staring into the soul of the friendly neighborhood endless abyss and still not let it consume you. And while he certainly forgets it for a while, he does resist. He remembers what's important. And it reminds me to remember what's important when my door is about to be broken down. Is to not be a Salieri and focus on the music.
ラボメンナンバー004くれさってなだ
ティーナも禁止